Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let your body surrender to peace. You are now entering a sacred space of transformation, a space where the subconscious mind awakens to infinite abundance. Tonight, we declare something powerful. Tonight, we rewrite your financial destiny. Money is not just paper, it is energy, it is vibration, it is a divine current flowing through the universe, and you are meant to receive it in large, consistent, miraculous sums. As you drift into sleep, your conscious mind rests, but your subconscious becomes the magnet. It begins pulling toward you the opportunities, the people, the ideas, and the wealth you are meant to receive. Let every breath draw you closer to wealth. Let every heartbeat become a decree. I am a magnet for large sums of money. Money flows to me while I sleep. I deserve financial abundance. I am aligned with the frequency of prosperity. As you descend into a deeper state of rest, let go of old beliefs that money is hard to earn, that success takes struggle. Tonight, those lies melt away. You are now in alignment with a new truth that you are deeply supported by the universe, and that abundance is your divine birthright. During the day, your conscious mind is the dominant force guiding your decisions, thoughts, and reactions. It evaluates, filters, questions, and resists ideas that don't align with your current beliefs. This protective mechanism keeps you operating within familiar patterns, even if those patterns are rooted in scarcity, fear, or limitation. But something miraculous happens at night. As you drift into sleep, your brainwaves slow, your conscious defenses begin to fade, and your subconscious mind, the true architect of your reality, becomes accessible. This subconscious mind is responsible for over 95% of your behavior and decisions. It's where your deepest beliefs, emotional associations, and automatic habits reside. If you've ever felt like you're sabotaging your own success, it's not because you lack willpower, it's because your subconscious programming hasn't caught up with your desires. This is why deep sleep is not just rest, it's one of the most fertile states for reprogramming your inner narrative and aligning your internal compass with wealth. Deep sleep meditation takes advantage of this biological and spiritual window. Through affirmations, soothing frequencies, and hypnotic repetition, it sends intentional messages directly into the subconscious. These messages, such as "I am wealthy," "money flows to me with ease," or "abundance is my natural state," are not resisted during sleep. Instead, they're accepted without question and begin to take root like seeds in fertile soil. When you repeat these positive money declarations night after night, your subconscious begins to rewire itself. The old internal scripts, "I'll never have enough," "I'm not good with money," or "wealth is for other people," gradually lose their power. They are replaced by empowering new beliefs that support your goals. This shift doesn't just change your minds, it changes your energy, your decisions, and ultimately, your outcomes. It's important to understand that the subconscious doesn't distinguish between imagination and reality. It only responds to repetition and emotion. That means if you continuously hear affirmations about receiving large sums of money while feeling relaxed and open during sleep, your subconscious will interpret those statements as truth. And because your external life is a mirror of your internal beliefs, your physical reality begins to shift in response. Scientific studies in neuroplasticity confirm this power. The brain is not fixed, it is moldable. Each night you listen to deep sleep wealth meditation. You are literally rewiring neural pathways, creating a new financial identity that is built on abundance, not limitation. You begin to notice new opportunities, take more confident financial actions, and attract wealth with less resistance, all because your subconscious is finally aligned with prosperity. Think of your subconscious as a garden. Whatever seeds you plant repeatedly, whether they're seeds of lack or abundance, will grow. If you've spent years absorbing negative beliefs about money, then deep sleep meditation is your chance to uproot those weeds and replace them with the seeds of abundance. You're no longer letting the external world program you. You're choosing to consciously reprogram yourself, starting from the deepest levels of your being. This is why nighttime practice is so effective. Your logical mind doesn't interfere. Your ego isn't judging or doubting the process. Instead, your brain is in a deeply relaxed theta state, the same state used in hypnosis and powerful manifestation rituals. In this state, the affirmations are absorbed fully, bypassing resistance and allowing the subconscious to accept wealth as your new normal. So while it may seem like you're simply sleeping with headphones or a guided meditation playing in the background, you are actually doing powerful inner work. You're turning your nights into a sacred ritual of renewal. You're declaring to your subconscious and to the universe that you are ready for more, worthy of more, and open to receive more. You're not just dreaming of wealth, you're programming it. Wealth is not merely the physical accumulation of currency, gold, or digital numbers on a screen. At its core, wealth is a vibration, a frequency that resonates at a certain energetic level. Everything in the universe, from the chair you sit on to the thoughts in your mind, is made of energy. And just like radio signals, energy has different frequencies. When you begin to understand this, you no longer chase money as a material object. Instead, you begin to tune your energy to the frequency of wealth itself. Think of a radio. If you're tuned to 88.5 FM, you won't receive the music playing on 106.7 FM, even though the signal for 106.7 is present in the environment. You won't hear it unless you change your frequency. The same principle applies to wealth. Prosperity, abundance, and large sums of money are all broadcasting on a high frequency channel. If your inner state, your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs is vibrating at fear, scarcity, or self-doubt, you won't be able to receive what's already available. Your current financial situation is not simply a result of hard work or luck, it's a reflection of the energy you emit. Every day, through your emotional tone and thought patterns, you're either broadcasting a frequency of abundance or of lack. If you often think, "I never have enough," or "money is hard to come by," you're sending out the signal of lack. That signal then attracts more circumstances to match it: bills, debt, and financial stress. But the moment you shift your internal energy, the external begins to change as well. This is why deep sleep meditation is such a powerful tool. While your conscious mind rests, your subconscious becomes receptive to new energetic patterns. By listening to affirmations that declare, "I am wealthy, money flows freely to me," or "I am aligned with financial abundance," you start retuning your frequency. And because the subconscious controls your vibrational state, this new alignment becomes natural, effortless, and magnetically powerful. When you vibrate at the frequency of abundance, you begin to attract wealth in ways that feel serendipitous. You meet the right people, hear the right ideas, stumble upon the perfect timing, but none of it is coincidence. It is the law of vibration in action. Like attracts like, wealth is drawn to you not because you chase it, but because you become a vibrational match to it. You radiate the essence of success, confidence, and overflow, and life mirrors that back to you. Many people try to manifest money while still holding onto the vibration of desperation or fear. They affirm abundance during the day but worry all night. This creates energetic conflict. That's why meditation during sleep is so effective. It bypasses daytime resistance and rewires your core frequency without interference. As you rest deeply, you're no longer trying to make things happen. Instead, you're allowing your vibration to shift naturally into alignment with wealth. Everything you desire financially already exists not just in the world, but in energetic form. Deep within the field of infinite possibilities, there is already a version of you who is wealthy, free, and fully supported. You don't need to create this version, you only need to become energetically compatible with it. When you match the frequency of that reality, you collapse time. The wealth you thought would take years to build can begin manifesting rapidly. Your emotions are the clearest indicators of your frequency. Joy, gratitude, ease, and faith signal that you're aligned with wealth. Fear, guilt, and resistance signal a disconnect. This is why the emotional tone of your sleep meditation is just as important as the words spoken. The soothing music, gentle voice, and relaxing rhythm all contribute to raising your vibration and helping you dwell in the energetic space where money flows. So, to attract wealth, don't just work harder or hope more, vibrate higher. Shift from effort to energy. Shift from striving to aligning. When you see money as frequency, not force, everything changes. You don't need to chase it anymore. You become the frequency of abundance, and the wealth begins chasing you. Affirmations are not just motivational phrases. They are powerful tools of reprogramming the mind. When repeated consistently, affirmations restructure the brain's neural pathways and reinforce beliefs that align with success, joy, confidence, and wealth. But what most people don't realize is that the timing of these affirmations significantly affects how deeply they are absorbed. The most potent time for affirmations is during sleep, particularly when your brain transitions through the alpha and theta brainwave states. During these slower brainwave states, which occur just before deep sleep and during REM sleep cycles, the subconscious mind is highly impressionable. This is the state in which children reside naturally for the first 7 years of life, which is why their early environment so deeply shapes their personality and beliefs. As adults, we can access this same plasticity during sleep. Affirmations played in this state don't need to be forced or consciously repeated. They slip past mental filters and go directly into the subconscious like seeds into soft soil. When affirmations are spoken during sleep, the brain does not critically analyze them. In waking hours, if you tell yourself, "I am wealthy," your conscious mind might argue back with evidence of your current financial stress. But during sleep, there is no internal objection. The subconscious receives these affirmations without defense. Repeated nightly, they begin to replace limiting beliefs, such as money is hard to earn, with empowering truths like money flows effortlessly to me. This effortless absorption is what makes sleep-based affirmations so profound. They bypass the ego, the inner critic, and the years of negative conditioning that block abundance. Instead of trying to convince yourself while awake and encountering resistance, you allow transformation to happen in your most relaxed, open, and receptive state. You no longer need to try to believe something new. The belief is implanted through gentle repetition in a sacred state of rest. The frequency of repetition is key. A single affirmation may not change your life, but hearing large sums of money flow to me easily and often, hundreds of times while asleep, creates a new dominant thought pattern. The subconscious learns through repetition, and the more you hear these affirmations, the more natural they begin to feel. Over time, they evolve from mere statements to subconscious truths, and your behavior and reality shift to reflect this new truth. Moreover, affirmations during sleep activate the reticular activating system (RAS), the part of your brain that filters information and determines what you notice and focus on. Once your subconscious mind begins accepting wealth affirmations, the RAS starts bringing financial opportunities, supportive connections, and creative money-making ideas to your conscious attention. It's not magic, it's how your brain works when properly trained to focus on abundance instead of limitation. Many people underestimate the impact of listening passively during sleep, but this is one of the most potent forms of inner work. Your brain continues to process sounds and words even in deep sleep. That's why you can sometimes hear your name or an alarm and respond instantly, even while asleep. The subconscious is always listening, and when you give it affirmations of wealth, it listens deeply, especially when there's no distraction or mental noise. This makes sleep a perfect time to reinforce the truth of who you are becoming: wealthy, empowered, and magnetically abundant. You can literally rewire your identity while you rest. Instead of spending 8 unconscious hours every night, you turn that time into a sacred portal of transformation. Every minute becomes an opportunity to align deeper with wealth consciousness and anchor new patterns of receiving, deserving, and allowing. In this quiet, undisturbed space, you're not just hearing affirmations, you are merging with them. They become your inner dialogue, your emotional compass, and eventually your external experience. You no longer need to fight against scarcity. With every night of meditation and affirmation, you're allowing a new version of you to rise, one that is naturally abundant, completely worthy, and effortlessly magnetic to money. Scarcity is not just a financial condition, it is a psychological and energetic prison. It forms silently, often in early childhood, from subtle messages like "we can't afford that," "money doesn't grow on trees," or witnessing adults stress about bills. These early impressions mold our perception of money into something limited, difficult, and conditional. As we grow, these thoughts solidify into subconscious beliefs that govern our choices, behaviors, and emotional responses to wealth, usually without us even realizing it. Scarcity beliefs show up in the quiet panic when you check your bank balance. They manifest in the guilt you feel when you spend on yourself, or the resistance you experience when someone offers to pay you more than you expect. These beliefs whisper lies like "I'll never have enough," "I'm not worthy of wealth," or "it's too late for me." And because your subconscious believes these things to be true, it orchestrates your actions and attracts experiences that confirm them, keeping you stuck in a loop of lack. Letting go of these scarcity beliefs requires more than conscious effort. You can't just decide to think differently and expect the deep-rooted patterns to dissolve overnight. That's where deep sleep meditation comes in. Sleep allows the conscious mind to step aside, giving you direct access to the subconscious, the seat of these limiting beliefs. When you feed the mind new, abundant ideas during this state, you don't have to wrestle with doubt. The old programming is gently rewritten without resistance. As the meditation plays softly while you sleep, you begin to release those outdated stories. Phrases like "there's more than enough for everyone," or "abundance flows to me freely and consistently," penetrate the core of your being. Over time, these messages replace the inner dialogue of fear with a new voice of confidence, peace, and worthiness. You stop viewing money as something you must chase and begin seeing it as something you naturally receive. Letting go of scarcity is also about emotional detoxification. Scarcity lives not just in your mind, but in your nervous system, in the anxiety around bills, the stress of financial uncertainty, the constant alertness to avoid running out. As you relax into sleep meditation, your nervous system resets. Your body enters a state of peace, signaling safety to the mind. And when the body feels safe, it no longer clings to survival-based thinking. This opens the doorway for expansive, prosperous thoughts to emerge. One powerful shift that happens as you release scarcity beliefs is the transformation of your self-image. When you've been conditioned by lack, you may unconsciously identify as someone who struggles financially, someone who is always getting by, rather than thriving. But sleep affirmations begin to build a new identity in your mind, someone who is capable, valuable, and destined to experience overflow. This shift in identity changes everything because you will never attract more than what you believe you deserve. Letting go of scarcity also means letting go of comparison. Scarcity tells you there's not enough success to go around, that someone else's win means your loss. But when you reprogram your subconscious during sleep, you start to embody a new truth. The universe is abundant. There's no competition for what's yours. This shift breeds collaboration, gratitude, and freedom, key energies that magnetize wealth effortlessly into your life. Another overlooked aspect of releasing scarcity is surrender. Scarcity makes you believe that you have to control everything, every penny, every plan, every outcome. But in truth, abundance flows best when you trust. Sleep meditation helps you surrender the tight grip of fear and open up to divine timing, universal intelligence, and intuitive guidance. You stop micromanaging the how and instead align with the frequency of abundance, allowing it to find you in unexpected, miraculous ways. The ultimate liberation from scarcity comes when you no longer react from fear, but respond from alignment. You don't just let go of old beliefs intellectually, you feel them dissolve. You wake up lighter, more empowered, more confident in your ability to receive and multiply wealth. And that's when life starts reflecting it. Opportunities unfold, money flows, and abundance becomes your natural state because the beliefs that once blocked it no longer exist within you. There is a vast, divine intelligence that governs the movement of planets, the changing of seasons, the rhythm of the tides, and it also governs the flow of prosperity. This is not just a spiritual idea, it's a universal law. Prosperity is not random, nor is it limited to a chosen few. It is part of the sacred design of the universe. To connect with divine prosperity is to recognize that abundance is not man-made, it is God, breathed, spiritually sustained, and eternally available to all who align with it. Most people believe wealth is something they must earn solely through labor, logic, and struggle. But when you begin to tap into divine prosperity, you realize there is another dimension to abundance, one that transcends effort and taps into grace. Divine prosperity is not about working harder, it's about aligning deeper. It's about recognizing that the source of all creation wants to support you, provide for you, and elevate you, not punish or withhold from you. This shift in perspective is life-changing. Instead of seeing money as a scarce resource you must compete for, you begin to see it as a divine expression of love and flow. Money, in this spiritual sense, becomes a vessel through which the universe blesses you. And when you sleep while immersed in meditations that affirm this truth, you begin dissolving the illusion that money is separate from your spiritual path. You realize it is deeply intertwined with your growth, purpose, and evolution. Deep sleep meditation provides the perfect bridge between the physical and the spiritual. In this sacred state of rest, the veil between worlds is thin. Your ego dissolves, your soul awakens, your subconscious becomes a clear channel. In this state, affirmations about divine provision, effortless wealth, and spiritual inheritance are not only received, they are believed. And belief is the seed from which all manifestation grows. Connecting with divine prosperity also involves trust, a deep, unwavering faith that the universe is conspiring in your favor. You stop chasing and start allowing. You stop hustling from fear and start receiving from faith. This energetic shift opens the gates for miracles. The right opportunities come, the right doors open, the right people show up, and it all feels like divine timing because it is. Another aspect of divine prosperity is knowing that you are not separate from Source. You are an extension of it. Just as the ocean is expressed in every drop of water, divine abundance is expressed through you. This means you don't have to beg, struggle, or prove your worth. Your worth is inherent. You are created in abundance for abundance. And when you align with that truth, especially in the fertile silence of sleep, you become a vessel for wealth in all its forms. This connection also heals financial wounds that stem from shame, guilt, or fear. So many carry emotional baggage from past failures, debts, or financial trauma. But when you surrender these wounds during sleep meditation, the divine can begin to restore and renew. You may hear affirmations like, "I am forgiven," "I am restored," "I am divinely supported." These aren't just words, they are spiritual codes that begin to reconstruct your relationship with wealth on a soul level. Divine prosperity also brings a deeper purpose to your abundance. It's not just about receiving money, it's about what you do with it. When you feel divinely connected, your wealth becomes a tool for good. You begin to give generously, invest wisely, and create with clarity. You become a conduit. Wealth flows through you, not just to you. And the more you serve in alignment with your higher self, the more prosperity continues to multiply. In essence, divine prosperity is about reuniting with your true spiritual identity, the part of you that has never been afraid, never been lacking, never been separate from abundance. Through sleep, you return to that sacred center. You enter a dimension of peace where worry cannot survive and where your connection to Source becomes stronger than any doubt. And from that connection, all things, including wealth, begin to flow effortlessly. Transformation is never a single event, it is the result of repeated alignment. When it comes to rewiring your beliefs around wealth and abundance, consistency is the bridge between intention and manifestation. Many people listen to one meditation or say a few affirmations and wonder why nothing has changed, but the subconscious mind doesn't respond to intensity, it responds to repetition. It is consistency that sculpts a new reality, just as a river slowly carves through stone. Your mind is like a garden, and every thought, belief, or affirmation is a seed. One seed planted may not bear fruit immediately, but when that seed is nurtured daily, it eventually breaks through the soil and blossoms. Similarly, when you listen to wealth affirmations every night, you are watering the seed of abundance within you. Over time, your subconscious begins to accept these declarations as reality, not because they're louder or more forceful, but because they're familiar. The subconscious learns through exposure and repetition. This is why negative beliefs are so deeply rooted. You've likely heard or thought them thousands of times. To overwrite those patterns, you must give the mind a new message to absorb over and over again. When this is done through deep sleep meditation, the process becomes easier and more effective because the mind is in a receptive, undistracted state. It is a sacred opportunity to reprogram with minimal resistance. Consistency also rewires the brain at a neurological level. Neuroscientists have discovered that repeated thoughts and affirmations form actual neural connections. The more a thought is repeated, the stronger the neural pathway becomes, just like a trail in the forest, becoming clearer with repeated travel. Night after night, as you reinforce wealth-focused thoughts, you create a new default setting in your brain, one that automatically leans toward abundance instead of fear or doubt. This regular exposure also builds momentum. In the beginning, you may not feel different, but consistency creates an energetic buildup. Think of it like filling a glass with water, one drop at a time. At first, it seems slow and unremarkable, but keep going and eventually the glass overflows. The same thing happens with your frequency. With enough repetition, your belief system overflows with certainty, confidence, and the energetic signature of wealth. Daily practice, even if it's passive while you sleep, also deepens your sense of identity. At first, affirmations may feel like lies. I am wealthy. I attract large sums of money. But over time, with consistency, they evolve into truths you no longer question. That shift in identity is crucial because your reality always mirrors who you believe you are. If you believe you are abundant, you will subconsciously act, speak, and attract as someone who naturally experiences abundance. The beauty of consistent practice is that it doesn't require effort, only dedication. Even 10 or 15 minutes of nightly meditation compounds over time. This is not about perfection, it's about showing up. Every night you choose to align your subconscious with wealth, you create a ripple effect that touches every part of your life, your relationships, your choices, your emotions, and your opportunities. You don't need to force change, you only need to nurture it daily. Moreover, consistency trains the universe to take you seriously. It shows that you're committed, focused, and aligned with what you desire. Just as you wouldn't plant a seed and then dig it up the next day to check its progress, consistent meditation and affirmation is an act of faith. It's a message to the universe that you trust the process and are willing to grow roots before the results are visible. And that kind of faith is what unlocks miracles. In essence, consistency is a sacred contract between you and your future self. It is the quiet, persistent act of becoming. With every night you invest in reprogramming your mind, you inch closer to the reality you dream of. Not through chance, but through choice. Not through waiting, but through alignment. And eventually, the inner shifts you've made with discipline and patience will crystallize into an outer reality filled with wealth, ease, and freedom. Visualization is one of the most potent tools in the manifestation process because it bridges thought and emotion, mind and matter. But what many people don't realize is that visualization becomes exponentially more powerful when practiced in the Theta brainwave state. This is the deeply relaxed, dreamlike state your brain naturally enters just before falling asleep and just after waking up. In this state, the subconscious mind is highly receptive, and the boundary between imagination and reality becomes thin, almost non-existent. The Theta state is often referred to as the gateway to the subconscious. During the day, your brain operates in the beta state, alert, logical, and focused on the external world. But as you drift into sleep, you pass through alpha and then into theta, which is slower, more fluid, and profoundly creative. This is the same state hypnotherapists use to implant new beliefs, and it's also where children spend most of their early years, which is why they absorb information so effortlessly. For adults, entering this state during sleep meditation offers a rare window for transformation. In the theta state, visualization becomes more than just daydreaming, it becomes energetic rehearsal. When you vividly imagine receiving large sums of money, experiencing financial freedom, or living in your dream home during this phase, your subconscious begins to record these visions as experiences. The brain cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined event and a real one. Both create the same neurological and emotional patterns. This is what makes theta visualization so impactful. You begin to embody the reality you wish to manifest. Deep sleep meditation, especially when guided by affirmations and sound frequencies, gently ushers the mind into the theta state and keeps it there long enough to imprint powerful visual images. You might hear prompts like visualize yourself holding large amounts of cash, or see your bank account overflowing. When combined with the relaxed receptivity of the theta state, these suggestions bypass conscious resistance and become internal blueprints for your future reality. What you visualize in the theta state plants itself not only in your mind, but in your emotional field, and emotions are the fuel of manifestation. The key is to feel what you are visualizing to truly immerse yourself in the joy, excitement, safety, and confidence of financial abundance. In theta, these emotions become magnified. You are no longer just imagining money, you are feeling what it's like to have it. That feeling becomes a powerful vibrational signal to the universe. Another reason visualization in the theta state is so powerful is because it activates the law of resonance. You attract not what you want, but what you are. By visualizing wealth from a place of internal alignment, you begin to vibrate on the same frequency as that wealth. The universe then responds by delivering circumstances, opportunities, and connections that match your new vibrational state. The visualization becomes your energetic signature, a beacon for abundance. Practicing visualization during sleep also makes it habitual. Most people struggle to visualize consistently during the day due to distraction, stress, or doubt. But when you fall asleep to guided visualizations, you don't have to think or try. The subconscious absorbs the imagery naturally. Over time, this trains your mind to expect wealth, to anticipate abundance, and to believe in your new reality without conscious effort. This consistency creates a gravitational pull toward your desires. Additionally, theta state visualization engages multiple senses, not just sight. You might find yourself hearing the sound of money counting machines, smelling the new car leather, feeling the texture of your luxury bed sheets, or tasting the food from a fine restaurant in your vision. This multi-sensory immersion anchors the visualization even deeper. The richer the sensory experience, the more real it becomes to the subconscious, and the more quickly it materializes in physical form. Ultimately, visualization in the theta state is not about escaping reality, it's about creating it. When you regularly engage in this process during deep sleep meditation, you train your inner world to reflect your highest desires. You become the author of your financial destiny, crafting your wealth story from a place of inner power. And as your subconscious adopts these images as truth, your external world reorganizes itself to mirror them, often in ways that feel effortless, synchronistic, and divinely guided. At the heart of all manifestation lies one core principle: emotion is the language of creation. It is not simply the thought that brings your desires into being, it is the feeling behind the thought. Thoughts without emotion are weak signals, easily scattered or dismissed by the subconscious. But thoughts infused with powerful emotion, joy, gratitude, love, certainty become magnetic. They imprint themselves deeply into your energy field and signal to the universe, "This is who I am. This is what I'm ready to receive." Your emotions emit frequencies that vibrate far beyond your physical body. Like a tuning fork, your emotional state sends ripples into the quantum field, attracting people, opportunities, and situations that resonate with your vibration. This means that when you align emotionally with the reality you want, such as financial abundance, freedom, or overflow, you begin attracting it without force. This is not wishful thinking, this is energetic science. You are always manifesting, whether you're conscious of it or not, and your emotional state determines what you manifest. The challenge, however, is that most people live in emotional alignment with their current reality, not the one they desire. They wake up feeling anxious, worried, or doubtful about money, and those emotions reinforce scarcity. Even if they say positive affirmations, the emotional energy behind those words is out of sync with abundance. That's why the key isn't just saying, "I am wealthy." It's feeling what it's like to already be wealthy. The feeling is the activator. It is the permission slip to receive. Deep sleep meditation plays a pivotal role in bridging this emotional gap. While asleep, your logical resistance dissolves, and your emotional body is more open. As you listen to affirmations and visualizations of wealth, your subconscious begins to generate the corresponding emotions: relaxation, hope, excitement, safety. These subtle but profound emotional shifts begin to recalibrate your entire energetic system. You no longer merely think differently, you begin to feel differently about wealth. When the emotional center of your being, your heart, aligns with your mental intentions, you step into coherence. Heart-brain coherence is a state in which your thoughts and feelings are no longer in opposition. They are synchronized, flowing in the same direction, amplifying each other. This state creates a powerful energetic field around you, often measurable by biofeedback devices. In this space, manifestation accelerates. The universe responds more quickly and clearly because you are not sending mixed signals. Emotional alignment also clears the energetic clutter that blocks manifestation. When you carry guilt, shame, or fear about money, those emotions act like static on your frequency. They distort your signal and prevent the flow of abundance. But when you begin to feel deserving, safe, and joyful about wealth, even before it arrives, you clear the channel. You become a clear vessel for divine provision. The universe doesn't wait for you to have money to feel abundant. It responds when you feel abundant first. The practice of emotional alignment also rewrites your self-image. Your identity is shaped not just by what you think of yourself, but by how you feel about yourself. If you emotionally identify as someone who is always broke, struggling, or just getting by, you will subconsciously recreate that identity, no matter how hard you try to break free. But if you begin to feel like someone who is financially empowered, who expects money, who handles it with ease, that new emotional identity becomes your lived reality. And perhaps most importantly, emotional alignment is sustainable. Willpower fades, motivation rises and falls, but when you learn to feel into your desired state to generate the emotion of wealth regardless of your outer circumstances, you tap into a limitless well of creative power. You become emotionally sovereign, no longer dependent on results to feel good. You begin to feel good first, and let the results naturally align. That's the essence of manifestation through emotional mastery. Ultimately, manifestation is less about what you do and more about who you are being. When your inner emotional world reflects the wealth you desire, when joy, gratitude, and confidence become your normal state, reality has no choice but to mirror that state. Through deep sleep meditation, you train your emotional field night after night to align with abundance. And once that alignment becomes habitual, the manifestation of wealth becomes inevitable. The modern mind is filled with noise. From the moment you wake up, you're bombarded with thoughts, obligations, conversations, screens, financial stress, societal expectations, and the endless to-do list of survival. This constant stimulation creates mental clutter, a chaotic stream of inner dialogue that rarely pauses. And this clutter is not harmless background noise. It becomes the fog that blocks your ability to connect with your higher self, to hear divine guidance, and to manifest with clarity. It creates distraction, distortion, and emotional fatigue. Mental clutter is often the very thing standing between you and the wealth you seek. When the mind is full of what-ifs, should, haves, and I'm not enough, it's impossible to hear the quiet whispers of intuition. Those whispers are the keys to your next level, your next idea, connection, or decision that leads to abundance. But when the mental space is overcrowded with past regrets and future worries, you miss those divine nudges. You stay stuck in loops of overthinking and underachieving. This is where sleep meditation becomes more than a nighttime routine, it becomes spiritual hygiene. Just as you brush your teeth to remove physical residue, meditation while you sleep clears the psychic residue left behind by the day. It gently dissolves overthinking, fear, base thought loops, and subconscious clutter, making space for peace, clarity, and divine inspiration. In the stillness of sleep, when guided by affirmations and healing frequencies, your mind finally unclenches. The volume of the mental chatter turns down, and something sacred happens. You begin to hear your truth. As the mental clutter fades, what emerges is your authentic energetic signal, the one that speaks clearly to the universe. Imagine your mind as a radio tower. When it's filled with static doubt, fear, shame, the signal you emit is scattered. But when that static is cleared through sleep meditation, the signal becomes pure and focused. That's when manifestation accelerates. The universe no longer has to guess what you want. Your energy is precise, unwavering, and powerful. Sleep meditation uses sound, rhythm, and repetition to gently guide the mind into calm. Binaural beats, soft affirmations, and theta wave frequencies are not just soothing, they rewire brainwave activity. They take your mind out of beta, to the stressed analytical state, and into alpha and theta, where clarity lives. In these states, you're not just relaxed, you're reprogramming. The thoughts you feed your mind during this time replace the clutter with order, confidence, and wealth consciousness. The removal of mental clutter also makes room for divine timing. Often, we try to force manifestations into our own timeline, driven by anxious thoughts and fear of lack. But once the mind quiets down through nightly meditation, you begin to trust the natural rhythm of life. You stop forcing and start flowing. In that state of flow, things begin to show up with effortless synchronicity. It's not that the opportunities weren't there before, it's that now you can actually see and receive them. Clearing mental clutter also purifies your emotional body. The two are intimately connected. When your mind is foggy and disorganized, your emotions tend to mirror that state: anxiety, overwhelm, doubt. But as the mental space clears, your emotional field becomes more serene. And from that serenity, gratitude begins to rise. You start to notice beauty, feel safe, and appreciate what you already have, all of which raise your vibration and magnetize more wealth to you. One of the most overlooked benefits of removing mental clutter is decision-making clarity. Every day, your wealth is influenced by small decisions, whether to say yes to an opportunity, invest in yourself, take a risk, or simply believe in your value. When your mind is cluttered, those decisions are clouded by hesitation and fear. But when your mental field is clean and focused, you begin to act from intuition, not insecurity. And those intuitive decisions are what open the door to abundance. Ultimately, deep sleep meditation becomes your nightly mental cleanse, a way to reset your inner world so your outer world can respond accordingly. As you drift into sleep, the affirmations act like a broom, sweeping away the mental debris collected from the day. By the time you wake up, your mind is not only rested, it is renewed. With less clutter, more alignment. With more alignment, greater manifestation power. You don't just feel better, you become magnetic to the wealth that's been waiting to reach you. As you surrender now to the peace of sleep, know that this is more than rest, it is alignment. Your body is resting, but your soul is rising. The affirmations you've just absorbed are not mere words. They are energetic codes, now embedded into your subconscious, working even while you dream. You are no longer resisting wealth, you are receiving it. You are no longer searching for abundance outside of you, you are awakening to the truth that abundance lives within you. Every breath you take is a signal to the universe: I am ready, I am open, I am worthy. You no longer need to chase or struggle. You have planted the seed of wealth in the rich soil of your mind. Now allow it to grow. Trust the process. Trust divine timing. Trust that what is meant for you is already on its way, faster, clearer, and with more ease than ever before. Let go now of all effort. Let go of fear. Let go of time. Enter the sacred space of divine rest, where all things are possible. In your sleep, you are becoming aligned. In your stillness, you are becoming magnetic. In your surrender, you are being rewritten. You are wealthy. You are safe. You are powerful. You are connected to infinite supply. And large sums of money are flowing to you now effortlessly, consistently, and miraculously. Sleep now, and let the universe fulfill what your soul has already claimed.